Have you ever wondered if there are hidden methods to make your daily interactions smoother and more effective? Imagine possessing the ability to subtly influence the people around you, enhance your communication, and get what you want more easily. This might sound like the stuff of magic or sophisticated psychological training, but what if I told you that there are simple tricks grounded in psychology that anyone can use? These aren't elaborate schemes or manipulative tactics, but rather straightforward strategies that can significantly impact your social and professional life. Let's dive into 19 psychological tricks that can make a real difference. 1. Never start with "could you?" Starting a request with "could you" might seem polite, but it often leads to non-committal responses. This phrasing can make your request sound hypothetical, leading to answers like "yes, I could" without actual follow-through. Instead, use direct language. For example, replace "could you call the neighbors" with "please call the neighbors." This straightforward approach increases the likelihood of your request being fulfilled. This directness is clear and assertive, reducing ambiguity and making it easier for the person to comply. Direct requests show confidence and certainty, which can also positively influence how others perceive you. 2. Make someone feel uncomfortable. If you need to make someone uncomfortable, perhaps to end a conversation or assert authority, try staring at the middle of their forehead. This intense gaze can make the other person feel scrutinized and uneasy, often prompting them to shorten the interaction. This tactic leverages the discomfort of prolonged eye contact in an unconventional area, which disrupts their normal social processing and creates a feeling of unease. Use this method sparingly and ethically, as making someone uncomfortable can harm relationships if overused or applied inappropriately. 3. Elicit the truth. When someone is avoiding a question, silence can be a powerful tool. Maintain eye contact and pause the conversation. The discomfort from the silence often compels the other person to fill it, potentially revealing more than they intended, and sometimes even the truth. This technique is effective because people naturally dislike silence in social interactions and feel compelled to fill it, often leading them to reveal more information than they initially intended. Silence also shows that you are paying close attention and waiting for a thorough response, which can pressure the other person to be more forthcoming. 4. Boost likability with a simple question. Asking someone to explain something to you, even if you already know the answer, can significantly improve their attitude towards you. This simple act of seeking help boosts their ego and makes them feel valued, fostering a positive connection. People enjoy feeling knowledgeable and helpful, and by asking for their expertise, you create an opportunity for them to feel good about themselves. This strategy also opens the door for more meaningful interactions and builds rapport, as it signals that you respect and value their input. 5. Nod to get an affirmative answer. Subtly nodding while asking a question you want a yes to can increase the chances of receiving an affirmative response. This technique is commonly used by servers in restaurants to encourage customers to order more, and it works by subconsciously signaling agreement. The nodding motion creates a rhythm that encourages the other person to align with your nonverbal cues, making them more likely to agree. This method works on the principle of social mimicry, where people tend to mirror the behaviors of those around them, especially in agreeable contexts. 6. Take or give objects during distraction. When someone is deeply focused, such as during a phone call, you can extend your hand and they will often hand over what they're holding without thinking. Conversely, you can give them something in the same manner, which can be useful during cleanups or moves. This tactic exploits moments of divided attention, where the person's cognitive load is too high to process the action consciously. It can be particularly useful in managing tasks efficiently without interrupting the person's primary focus. 7. Challenge their abilities. If you want someone to do something, imply they might not be able to do it. Most people will rise to the challenge to prove their capabilities. Alternatively, make a small, unusual request first to build rapport, increasing the chances they'll agree to a larger request later. This plays on the natural human desire to prove oneself and the psychological principle of consistency, where people are motivated to act consistently with their past behaviors. By initially engaging them in a smaller task, you create a precedent that makes them more likely to agree to subsequent, larger requests. 8. Enhance attentiveness by nodding. Nodding during a conversation makes the other person more attentive to your words. This subtle body language cue encourages them to focus more on what you're saying without them consciously realizing it. Nodding not only signals agreement but also promotes active listening, which can enhance the quality of the conversation and make the other person feel heard and valued. It also helps to establish a positive feedback loop, where the other person becomes more engaged and responsive. 9. Negotiation technique: express mild disappointment. When negotiating, expressing mild disappointment can lead to better conditions. For instance, if you're offered a price or salary, showing slight dissatisfaction can prompt the other party to improve their offer to meet your expectations. This tactic leverages the psychological discomfort people feel when they perceive they have let someone down or not met expectations. By expressing mild disappointment, you create an opportunity for the other party to offer concessions to make you feel satisfied. 10. The soccer goal alarm trick. To wake up more easily, sit up immediately after your alarm goes off and pump your fists as if you've scored a goal. This physical act triggers a rush of adrenaline, helping you feel more alert and ready to start the day. This technique works by combining physical activity with a positive, triumphant gesture, which stimulates your body's arousal systems and boosts your mood. It creates a sense of accomplishment and energizes you for the day ahead. 11. Use absurd phrases to aid memory. If you often worry about forgetting whether you locked the door or turned off an appliance, say an absurd phrase while doing it. The strange nature of the phrase, like green rabbit, makes it easier to remember later, reassuring you that the task was completed. This method leverages the von Restorff effect, where unusual or distinctive items are more likely to be remembered. By associating a mundane task with an absurd phrase, you create a unique memory cue that stands out. 12. Diffuse arguments with kindness. When someone tries to pull you into an argument, respond with kindness or remain silent. This tactic disarms them and often diffuses the tension. Additionally, putting yourself in their shoes can help you understand their perspective, potentially resolving the conflict more amicably. Kindness and empathy can act as de-escalators in heated situations, reducing the other person's aggression and fostering a more constructive dialogue. This approach helps maintain relationships and can lead to more productive resolutions. 13. Motivate lazy team members. To motivate a lazy team member, avoid saying "do this instead." Say "start with this." This phrasing makes the task seem smaller and more manageable. After they complete the first task, continue with encouragement, eventually leading them to complete the full job. This strategy breaks down tasks into smaller, more approachable steps, reducing the overwhelm and inertia that can come with larger tasks. It also provides positive reinforcement, which can build momentum and motivation over time. 14. Public speaking: use water and honesty. When speaking in public, bring a bottle of water. Sipping water can give you a moment to collect your thoughts. If you're nervous, admit it to your audience. This honesty can make them more sympathetic and ease your nerves. Taking a sip of water also provides a natural pause, allowing you to pace your speech and manage anxiety. Honesty about your nervousness can humanize you to your audience, creating a connection and reducing the pressure you feel. 15. Disarm stares with shoe gazing. If someone is staring at you, look at their shoes. This unexpected reaction often makes them uncomfortable, and they'll likely stop staring. This tactic works because it disrupts the social norm of maintaining eye contact during a stare, which can be disconcerting for the person staring. It shifts the dynamic and places the social discomfort back onto them, often leading them to break their stare. 16. Transfer worry. If you appear worried every time you see someone, they'll eventually start feeling worried whenever they see you. This phenomenon can be used strategically, depending on your intent. This method leverages emotional contagion, where people pick up and mirror the emotions of those around them. By consistently displaying worry, you can subtly influence their emotional state, although it should be used cautiously and ethically to avoid causing unnecessary anxiety. 17. Constructive criticism. When pointing out someone's mistake, avoid direct accusations. Instead of "you didn't close the window," say "the window was left open." This phrasing focuses on the action rather than the person, making them more receptive to correction without feeling attacked. This approach minimizes defensiveness and promotes a more constructive conversation about the issue. It emphasizes the need for correction rather than assigning blame, which can lead to better outcomes and preserve relationships. 18. Trick your brain into feeling rested. If you didn't sleep well, tell yourself you did. Research from Colorado College has shown that convincing yourself you had a good night's sleep can improve cognitive performance, despite the actual quality of sleep. This technique leverages the placebo effect, where belief in a positive outcome can lead to actual improvements in performance. By convincing yourself that you slept well, you can boost your confidence and cognitive function, making it easier to tackle the day's challenges. 19. Capitalize on memory bias. People tend to remember the beginning and end of events better than the middle. Use this to your advantage in job interviews by scheduling them at the start or end of the workday. This timing increases the likelihood of being remembered positively among other candidates. This principle, known as the serial position effect, suggests that information presented at the beginning and end of a sequence is more likely to be recalled. By timing your interview strategically, you can make a stronger impression and increase your chances of standing out. Conclusion. By incorporating these 19 simple psychological tricks into your daily interactions, you can enhance your communication skills, build better relationships, and influence others more effectively. These strategies are rooted in basic psychological principles and are easy to implement. Whether in personal or professional settings, understanding and utilizing these tricks can give you an edge, making your interactions more successful and satisfying. Do you have any other effective psychological tricks up your sleeve? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more tips for navigating life on the bright side.